Hey, my name is Matthias Lammer, and I'm the Life Sciences Supply Chain Leader at Genpact. What makes life sciences supply chain so difficult to operate is really the missions that life sciences companies have. If it is a life-saving drug or a state-of-the-art medical device, they want to make sure that each patient, wherever they are in the world, whenever they need it, has access to their product. However, we have supply chain disruptions, uncertain trade environments, or health emergencies that create a very difficult planning environment for life sciences companies. On top of that, there's a very stringent regulatory environment and quality that needs to be done throughout the entire end-to-end supply chain. Different sectors have different sort of complexities, right? In life sciences, you have this big regulatory framework that you have to accommodate in this 100% quality compliance, right? Yeah, however, the planning horizons are a lot longer, right? You typically plan in weeks and months and years, while in consumer products, a lot of times you might have to plan in hours or days. No one wants to have bread that's 5 days old, right? While medicine can usually have a shelf life of a year or more, which provides you more flexibility. However, you have also all the quality constraints that we already talked about. The key piece of advice I would give a life sciences supply chain managers would be, number one, creating resilient supply chain is not just supply chain's job. You got to involve other parts of your organization, such as the commercial team, R&D, obviously IT, and even your finance function are a critical part to creating a supply chain that is working well. The second piece would be, it's not just in your own four walls. You need to think about all the key stakeholders that you work with. Like, think about your contract manufacturers who make a lot of your product. Think about your third-party logistics providers that get your product there on time. Think about your strategic suppliers, be it packaging or other key goods that go into your product. Or even a clinical research organization who provides you patient information for clinical trials that you need to supply. Integrating those is absolutely critical so you can work in lockstep to have a flexible and resilient supply chain. And the last piece would be, why wait? A lot of your industry peers are already on this journey and are really moving up the maturity scale. They taking a lot of lessons of things that have already been done in the consumer products or automotive sector and are now applying it to life sciences to really differentiate your supply chain and make it a competitive differentiator. The methodologies, the tools, and the capabilities are there to make your supply chain in life sciences resilient and flexible. The way Genpact supports life sciences companies in the supply chain space is on an end-to-end basis. We have kind of three different dimensions. We have long-term planning, we have planning transformations, which focus on the execution, and supplier collaboration. When we talk about long-term planning, resilient supply chains are not created overnight. It often requires 5 to 10 years of looking out and modeling various scenarios, looking at supply disruptions, increases in demand, and other changes in the product portfolio. That requires a deep analytical capability enhanced by AI to really simulate the supply chain. And this is what we help established clients. Then when we kind of take the horizon one level down, this is typically in the 2-year planning horizon. This is where a lot of the supply chain operates. We do end-to-end transformations. And what makes us a little different is we don't just focus on planning for supply chain in the commercial space, like products that are already on the market. We look at it end-to-end. We look at your clinical supply chain. This is where you run a global trial with 50,000 patients, where you need to get them the placebo or the drug that is currently being tested with all the secrecy that needs to be around it, right? To make sure the results are uncompromised, to new product introduction, to get a transition as a commercial product, all the way to product sunset. And where Genpact helps is driving the overall transformation roadmap, doing the actual technology enablement, and building the operating model, and building the data infrastructure underneath that is going to be required. But most importantly, we also help with the change management, because the adoption is absolutely critical to make these programs successful. And the third piece is supply ecosystem collaboration. Once you have an internal planning function, in place is great, but you're not working in isolation. You have contract manufacturers, you have strategic suppliers, you have clinical research organizations. They need to be integrated into your operations from an overall ways of working as you plan, as well as from an execution perspective. What we do is help companies through this transition to connect them from a data perspective, to make sure that suppliers are actually working in lockstep with you to really create this flexible and reliable supply chain.